You look like my guinea pig right now.
Life is pain. Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's Wednesday, November 2nd. I'm Ryan Miller. He's the least pausingest man on the planet, Matt Amberg.
I've never paused. I'll never pause. I won't stop, can't stop, don't stop. I'm the angry German man. Let's go, go, go.
That's why
Points.
we're Zero Points. There's no pausing between what we say one thing to the next.
We can't stop.
Nope. In fact, if anything, there's not enough pausing because we talk over each other about things.
Such as things we may have done this week. I know that I had many things this week. Did you do stuff? Should we talk about whether or not we both did things?
Oh man, I would love that. I'm interested in the things you've done this past week as I continue to talk about it.
It's really cool of you to continue doing so, and I will continue telling you what I've done this week. A friend of mine came from out of town to visit, and on that visit, we went out to the Alamo Drafthouse, a theater I'd never actually attended. It's similar to Cinnabar in the respect that you get drinks and food there, but you also watch a movie.
Huh. I could have sworn you've been to the Alamo Drafthouse before.
I have talked about the Alamo Drafthouse, but I've never actually been there.
That must be what it is.
It may have been. Thank you for asking.
You're
We
welcome.
went to see a showing of Targets, and it's a fantastic film. It was a 35 millimeter showing, and I've never seen the film in 35 millimeter. And it was amazing.
What is this movie you speak of?
It is a film that is actually very relevant today. It's about a military veteran who decides one day after he wakes up to kill his family and then just go on a sniper spree.
What?
He calmly just goes up to some towers and shoots into the freeway. Then he gets a chase from the freeway to a theater a drive-in where he starts sniping people from the drive-in. And one of the big draws to the film was that it was Boris Karloff is in it.
So this is how old then?
1972, 73.
Sure.
You know, I actually have the ability to use the internet, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Because
it's got to be the 70s. The 70s was
definitely 70s, yeah.
It was one of the more harder eras to nail down, I think, because it was more of a reaction than anything. When I think about it.
As you might. And oddly enough, this is on the cusp of the 70s. I was wrong. It was 1968.
Okay.
So going into it, but the one of the big draws to the film for me wasn't just the film itself, which is a really good movie. It was loosely based around the Texas sniper, the bell tower sniper. That actually there was a movie starring Kurt Russell as that sniper, whose name I can't remember the guy's name right now. But it was loosely based around that character or that person, and it was actually one of Peter Bogdanovich's first films. And that was it. That's a huge deal. Peter Bogdanovich is a fantastic director. He's a fantastic writer. He did Paper Moon and What's Up Doc, The Last Picture Show. So lots of really fantastic movies that were actually, fairly important films in some one way or the other. And this was an early one of his, and so it was really cool to see.
Based on an actual sniper?
Very lightly. There was a real sniper in the early or mid 60s that went up to a clock tower on the campus of, I want to say, University of Texas, on that campus, and just started shooting people.
Really?
Yeah, it's a famous story. I mean, it happened. It was a real thing. So
no, I don't. Well, okay. I don't want to say I don't not believe it. I believe it. Unfortunately, I guess I'm one of the people that unplugs from that pretty well. Like anytime somebody starts on the I'll take part in maybe the whole national discussion on our obsession with guns, period. Sometimes reluctantly, or just when people are so far out on the other side that, if you want to say, hold on for a second. But for the most part, I'm totally in the camp that's like, don't even talk about these people. Don't sensationalize them, like all that. So it makes sense that I would have no idea about this sniping thing that happened, and I'm sure it was more tastefully covered than stuff like this is covered nowadays. But I had no idea that it was.
So the guy's name was Charles Whitman, and it was in 1966. He killed 49 people from the bell tower, basically, at the University of Texas. Now, what actually later on would be a very interesting thing, and a reason that he should be somewhat known for, is he told doctors that he felt wrong, that something was not right. And after he was killed, they did his autopsy, and they found a thing, like a mass on his brain that was pushing down onto a certain part of his brain that very likely caused him to do what he did. So
still though, I don't know how that helps.
Well,
I guess
it helps.
I guess he's not maybe like these fame-seeking idiots nowadays.
He wasn't.
I get
he was
okay.
He was not a fame-seeking idiot then either. Like, it was not. There were definitely,
actual physical.
There were issues,
physiological things you can point at. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and so that was one thing, and the movie actually Targets opens with a statement that is so obscenely relevant now as it was then, and it was basically X amount of people are killed and we still don't have gun control laws. Why? and I mean, and that's,
let's just do the rest of this episode on that.
Yeah. So the whole movie is I mean, there's no question about it. It opens with a political statement. It's a political film, but it's a really well done movie. And one of the draws to the film, especially that's just mind blowing, is that the film was shot in a very, very, very small amount of time on a very small budget because it was a Roger Corman produced movie. And if you don't know who Roger Corman is, I highly suggest you check his IMDb out, because he's been involved in movies since forever, and they're not usually the good ones.
Is he still kicking around?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Roger Corman will never die. It doesn't matter even if he does.
He's ensconced.
Roger Corman is similar to Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman is the guy who runs Troma Films, those terrible Toxic Avenger.
Wait.
Even when he dies, he'll never die.
Just the terrible Toxic Avenger ones, or the good ones too?
No. Troma is his thing. and there are bad Toxic Avenger films. That's the gag.
Whoa. Okay.
Moving on. That was pretty much it.
One more movie than I watched, so I guess you win again. This section of the show.
Always don't. But we did it.
What? Anything else you want to touch on besides gun control and snipers?
We're getting political. I got a really bad cut on my fingy, and the skin peeled off, and it really hurts to do things with it. Sorry,
I asked. Speaking of Roger Corman, I don't have any movies, but can we talk about Uwe Boll for a second?
I've never. He's the only other German I care about.
What's the first one?
Kraftwerk as an entirety.
Oh,
like as a collective.
All right.
Uwe
Above
Boll.
Just two things coinciding that seems insane. Mr. Boll has backed out or retired or said he's going to stop making movies.
Yeah. That's what he says.
Great. I mean, we could do a whole bowl cast if we wanted.
Yeah, and we probably should.
Like many of these mass murderers, I haven't really taken the time or thought I needed to take the time to dig into who this guy actually is. You know, he does those celebrity boxing things. He makes bad movies. I get it. Like,
that's because he does the celebrity boxing thing strictly because people call him a bad filmmaker, and he just has a he just gets butthurt about it.
Okay,
I mean,
I guess maybe
fair,
I thought because of that he had some weird.
To be fair, he's constantly being told he's bad at everything he does.
Well, yeah,
so there is that. I mean,
I thought he had a sense of humor about it, or at least some kind of I don't know, because he kept doing it.
Yeah,
but
he's
this
German.
is this the statements he makes. They're a little absurd. Okay, this is why he's leaving.
Yeah,
you may know more about him, so let me know how this stacks up. Quote:
I will.
"The market is dead," he said. "You don't make any money anymore on movies because the DVD and Blu-ray market worldwide has dropped 80% in the last 3 years. That is the real reason. I just cannot afford to make movies."
That's interesting because most of his movies, if not all of them, are like they were financed by the German, by the country. The Germany as a country, along with like a bunch of European countries,
Really?
have an entire like budget for auteurs, for filmmakers, for stuff like that.
I guess that makes
to,
sense.
To
That's
make
actually
to have
pretty common. Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to have movies made in their country. They want to get internal revenue from film.
Powerful medium.
So he made a lot of those movies, again, if not all of them, with that as far as I remember, was financed by the frickin' German government.
Okay, so but nothing to do with the quality here.
I highly doubt it.
He goes on, quote, "I can't go back to student filmmaking because I have made so many movies in my life, and I can't make cheaper and cheaper movies at my age. It's a shame. I would be happy to make movies, but it is just not financially profitable." So he can't make cheaper movies than he has.
Yeah, but
how does that check out?
He's talking about cheaper as in like
quality.
I don't even know. I don't know what he's talking about because his movies are not very good. I mean,
but at least they're cheap.
I guess. I mean, some of them don't look very cheap. Like they probably cost too much money to make. I'm sure
they cost too much money to make.
Yeah, the fact that they cost.
Speaking,
well, they cost real dollars, so that was immediately a downer.
He goes on.
Of course he does. He's loquacious.
To say that he has been using the money he made on, quote, stupid video game based movies to pay for these other movies he's made, Attack on Darfur and Assault on Wall Street, both of which then must have done fine commercially, right?
Oh, yeah. Huge hits. Attack on Darfur has, I want to say there was a little bit of hubbub about it, mostly because it was his movie. But I feel like either somebody really liked it or something really, really, really awful happens in it. And I just remember hearing about it. And I know there was a minor hubbub about it in like the little film circles, but that was as far as that went because nobody cares.
He goes on. Actually, he doesn't. I guess he's done. But this is coming. Polygon editorializes a little bit. It says, as has long been the case, Boll blames the movie flops and their loss of money on the critics, people who he has long said don't even watch his films before panning them. Which I guess I'd be included because I don't. If I've seen a Uwe Boll film, I did not make it all the way through. I know I've seen one because I remember it was a thing, but I can't remember it. Anyways,
I've seen most of them.
I guess I was unaware that he's really this clueless. Like,
I think he's one of those people that's surrounded by yes men, and that I don't think that he is. I think that he legitimately sees what he made as quality and worthwhile, and good.
See, that doesn't like. I mean, I'd be fine. Like maybe he comes out and says, I mean, he does say stupid video game movies. So what if he's like, yeah, it is what it is. Like if he was of the mind that was like, don't get mad at me for crappy movies. I get that. These are quick things I put out just to put out because I want to create or something like that. Like if he gets behind something like that, maybe I guess that's what I expected. But to everything he says here, he doesn't seem to get. It's bizarre.
He doesn't understand like anything he does. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy.
Understand. Nobody understands.
I've seen his movies. There are redeeming qualities in a couple of them that I enjoyed.
Is there one
So-
you will recommend to me right now?
No, I would never recommend one to you, but I mean, if you were going to watch one and you wanted to just like, you got to go with him and how much you've heard. It doesn't make sense to even try and see one of the movies that isn't utterly absurd. So I just say watch Postal. At least Dave Foley is in there.
Hey, you know what? You know how to sell me on a movie.
Yeah, Dave Foley. It's legitimately a goofy, dumb movie. I think it's probably the best movie he made. And that's saying something because it's not like if you watch it, you'll see just how absurdly stupid it is.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if it's as dumb as the game, so whatever.
I just the power he could harness if he just
The German government.
accepted reality. Yeah, no, that's scary. I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey,
What do I care?
what do you care about video games?
I don't.
That's what I want to know.
I don't care about them at all.
Well,
Not even a little
man,
bit.
We'll talk about Gears of War 4 last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see where the confusion came from.
So Overwatch is something that I played. I did not. I did finally hit 100. I did get my prestige. The experience was quick. I got up to, I don't know, 6 or 7 or maybe 10 even. One Halloween skin, I think. This is a Zenyatta one. And
You do seem more prestigious than the last time I saw you.
yeah, I feel really great. So that sucked. That was a whole bunch of bull. Whatever. I mean, I got most of them. I got most of the ones I wanted on the PC, so that's fine.
Did you play any more of the Halloween mode?
No.
Junkensteins? Okay.
No.
I did.
Did you get the achievements?
I did.
Nice.
What was that? Whatever day I texted you, like
I don't
Friday
know.
or something.
You didn't tell me you were going to do it, so I didn't join you.
No, I did last night after you were in bed because that's the only time I can play. That's the only time I played video games this week, except for when we streamed and when we streamed. So
I was in bed.
I have no idea. Whenever I texted you during the week to say, hey, Halloween mode has achievements, I guess. No idea. Snuck them in. Didn't know. Don't check on those, I guess, as much as I used to. So it was, and for anybody who hasn't played the Halloween mode, it's basically kind of a horde survival type mode where you're defending the doors of the castle against
Shoot the
Junkenstein
reptiles.
and his monsters, yes, which are different characters. You are Hanzo, Anna,
McCree
and Soldier against Junkenstein, who's Junkrat, his monster, who is Roadhog, Reaper, Mercy,
and Omnic bots, Zomnics as
Yes.
they were,
all coming at you. So
coming at you hot.
if you
and
didn't watch the
swift.
stream, check out the stream. We tried it for, and I'm gonna breaking news here. I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
Were you there? Maybe you were there.
I
when
hope
said
not.
this. We tried it for a good hour or 45 minutes on medium and couldn't do it. Medium difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched it to easy. This is during the stream.
Yes.
And we actually completed it on easy, and I didn't tell you guys it was easy.
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, you did? Okay. I
Oh.
couldn't remember if I told you that.
I knew.
Anyways, if you watch the stream, it's like at one point I whispered, let's see if they can tell the difference.
And we couldn't.
And then after that, I very explicitly said, yep, beat it on medium. Good job on medium, everybody.
You did. That's how we all knew. We beat it on medium. Oh.
That's how I make people feel good. I lie.
You lie. Lying is good.
Went in. Achievements were...
0 hit points.
beat it on medium difficulty, beat it on hard difficulty, beat it on medium without the door taking any damage, and beat it once as each character. I was only missing 3 characters, so I did that, and then I had a buddy hop on and said, do you want to try it on hard? Because they had some strategy where apparently the strategy is for Anna to ult McCree when the bosses come, and then McCree ults and just can one-shot the bosses even or whatever.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this on the stream. I mentioned it last week. I mentioned it the week before.
Did you?
Yeah, but whatever.
Cool. Beat it up with all the characters. I pub matched the medium difficulty one and actually beat that. We got nowhere on hard. Like, actually, we might have got to the last round of enemies. I don't know. That Ulti McCree is definitely the way to go. I'm not interested in even 30 minutes worth of trying to get hard mode or trying to keep that door from taking damage on medium. So I will let those achievements pass into seasonal obscurity since they won't be probably won't be gainable until next Halloween anyways. I think that event's over today anyways.
It was over yesterday.
Or yesterday. Whatever.
It's
Overwatch.
on your side.
It's still fun, still great. I also played a bunch of Reinhardt as my character this week.
You did.
He's pretty fun.
I really enjoy him. He's a lot of fun.
I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I do. Familiar.
Did you try him?
Okay, I won't. No interest.
What else? What else we got?
I played a whole bunch of the Titanfall campaign, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into it yet?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, then I guess we won't talk about that.
We played multiplayer. We
did.
played one of each multiplayer. We won every game we played. Did you notice that?
Well, we won in the sense that like everybody did something except me, but yeah, we did.
Our team won. Yeah,
the team won.
We got lucky.
I would
with
say
whoever our teammates were.
I didn't win so much as I rode the coattails.
That was only 4 or 5 games maybe, but solid fun. Like I don't know what we could add to that. Really.
I can automatically tell you that the same issue I have in many games in the multiplayer exists here and in spades. Shotguns. They're especially at low levels when you don't have one. So cool.
Wait, do we not have a shotgun?
I
wouldn't know because I never choose the thing anyways.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm not loving about this, and this is just straight up. I need to get used to it. I just hate the change that they made to the way the classes quote unquote work. Like I liked Titanfall 1's layout better for your characters.
It's different.
I don't like
I haven't learned it yet, so I'm not really.
There's just so much garbage now to modify. I can add a skin here. You can add a skin here, but only if you use this gun, and you got to use this gun forever. And then it's fine.
Each gun has a level, so you're leveling up guns, which I want to say is what Call of Duty's been doing.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's not. I don't care about that. It's just the way it's laid out is so like overly. It's just too much for what they're doing.
You don't get it by looking at it.
Not
like you need
at
to
all.
You need to spend some time with it, which is why I'm not going to say one way or the other at this point. Yeah. It's not as simple as Titanfall 1. I don't want it to be the same as Titanfall 1, but you're right. You don't immediately get it. Like
no,
you need to spend time with
I need time with it, and that might change my opinion of it. Right now, I hate it, and I just whatever. Yeah, the game itself, though, plays good. It felt good, comfortable. I had to change up the sensitivity a little bit for my controller, just a teensy bit to get a little more tracking speed, just for this game in particular because it's a little faster. But yeah, I like it. The how do you feel about the Titan classes? I know you haven't played the campaign, and the way they're introduced in the campaign is very
amazing.
No, it's not. It's probably it's the weakest part of the campaign, and that means nothing in the grand scheme of it, because the campaign is very good. And this little bit with the classes for the Titans it's just kind of throwaway in the campaign a little bit, but whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
So how did you feel about it in like did you look at it at all in your
for the tech test? I used each Titan they had available, which I want to say might have only been 2. So it was Ion, who's the dude that shoots the big laser out of his chest.
Laserman.
And Scorch.
Fireman.
Does all the fire thermite stuff, yeah.
Yep.
I haven't used Scorch yet, or I've only used the laser dude so far actually in multiplayer. It's pretty fun. I like the greater. I feel like there is a greater delineation in the Titans this time as opposed to just the size of them. Yeah, well, I think there's more.
Well, there's more of them too,
yeah.
but I think that I feel like in the first game, like there were delineations in the weapons, but they weren't. None of them felt significantly different to me. I feel like that like they were fine. One was a laser beam, one was a chain gun, but they're ultimately they felt the same way. They felt similar to me, I guess. Whereas here you've got the guy with the sword, the thermite bombs, the machine gun. They feel different to me. I don't know.
All right. No, I think.
And I'm not ragging on the first game.
But
the first game was really good. I just didn't like. It's totally based on me knowing what I know now. right? So like
I get you.
it's retroactive going, yeah, I guess those guys kind of did feel similar.
I just don't attach those to the weapons, I guess, as much, because the feel of the weapons doesn't change no matter what Titan you're playing.
Yeah, see, I disagree.
You talking guns though, or like special abilities?
All of it. Like I think Scorch's gun feels very different than the laser guy's gun.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure those aren't tied to the Titans though, are they? I think they're guns you can switch.
Don't know. As far as I know, they have what they have. So
they definitely have defaults. I
guess I'm going with the defaults.
You know what? Hey, we don't know
because we haven't gotten that far into it. But whatever their defaults are, feel very different to me based on how they start out.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
Okay. Gone with. I'm looking forward to the campaign. Don't tell me anything about it. Ever.
It's pretty great. Just kidding. I mean, it's good.
Next.
Hey,
wait, before we move on from Halloween, because that was Halloween related. Halloween, what did you do?
Oh, yeah, we didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. You didn't even sit on your front lawn and yell at kids or anything?
No, we sat outside, and I was actually alone for most of the night last night, so I sat outside listening to music, and I threw candy at the kids, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't...
Put that bowl right on your lap.
I did not do that.
Okay.
No, and I definitely didn't ask them to put their hands in the bowl. That's just weird. Number one, don't touch my stuff. Number two, don't infect all the candy. I'll give it to you.
You were throwing candy at them, weren't you?
I was.
Okay. All right.
What did your kids dress up as first?
The kids. My son likes sharks and my daughter likes Maleficent. We talked about this. Yeah, she went as Angelina Jolie, only normal. I don't know. Hey, we took them to my parents' neighborhood, my old neighborhood, because I thought that would be fun. It's a mad house.
Sure.
Like we get there and the streets are just packed with cars. Like I was unaware of the idea of a destination neighborhood. I guess.
Yeah, totally.
So
that's what my daughter does.
I guess I just didn't.
She and her friends do that. They did that last 3 years. They're like, we're gonna go to this neighborhood.
Saw that growing up though. I guess it's just.
I don't know. When I was growing up, it was my neighborhood, and then like my friends would come with me. We do my neighborhood, and then we go over to their like area and we do their neighborhood. And so, I mean, I guess it was kind of like that.
I do remember going to different places. I guess I just don't remember.
I think you didn't think of them. You didn't think of it that way.
Of freaking people and tons of freaking cars, which actually was awesome. Like it was the experience I wanted and then some for my kids. That's like why we were going there. Because there's like community things, trunk or treats or whatever, where we just walking around in a circle in a parking lot getting candy from people out of their trunks.
Yeah, it's not weird.
So I wanted like something like this. So it was cool. It was fun to be out there walking around.
I feel like that's just that's a like a skit waiting to happen. Trunk or treat.
Yes, but this is slightly related to video games because I did turn on my Pokemon Go.
Go man, poker.
It's so I could be racking up the miles in my pocket. Because I could have sworn we got 4. No.
Racking up the miles in my pocket. 0 hit points.
I could have sworn you got 4 candies for doing a kilometer with your Pokemon buddy, and it gave me like 2.
That sounds like it didn't work.
It didn't actually. It doesn't. I thought I would finally be able to evolve my Bulbasaur, but I was not.
Yeah. You are not an evolver.
Anyways, I opened that game up. End of story.
You were evolved, but then you got canceled.
Spoiler.
Pro tip.
And then we played Gears of War 4. Horde 3.0 2. 4.
Again.
Twice.
This time we played it with randos. And it actually, so wasn't the worst experience right up until the end. So the idea here is we were trying to figure out there's a specific achievement that Ryan needs to get, and that it's fun. It's a good time to try. Mm-hmm. It's a fun thing to try and get. I'll enjoy it.
Okay.
But going one sitting, 1 to 50, and completing Horde, doesn't matter if you die. You just have to complete Horde in one sitting.
On every map.
Which again, I'm okay with it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was fine. We started with the full plate, lost somebody like within the first 10, lost another person, and then
like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Lost somebody in the first
Not
like
even
then
10
another
waves.
10 minutes or so, 10 waves. Yeah, so it's down to 3 of us probably for. Well, I guess that was late in the 20s. So from
4.
about
No.
20
We lost our 5th like immediately.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
There were 4 of us for most of it.
for up until about, I feel like that guy left like in the 20s. Whatever. We got to
Could have been.
like the 48th or 49th wave with the one guy
49th.
with the 3 of us, and then he drops out like right just before we finish it.
We failed the 49th wave once, and he was like,
And he
well,
quit.
this isn't
Yeah,
going to happen.
That's it. So we finished the 49th wave like as soon as he leaves, and then we spent 2-3 hours, feels like,
Probably.
just on wave 50, and we could not do it.
So
And there are
it's map
issues.
dependent a little bit. We were on a
Yes.
different map because we've done 1 through 50 on whatever that other map was.
Stupid map.
The first one.
Easy
the
map.
damn- Probably, apparently. This one was Gridlock, which is a classic from the first Gears of War. And actually, I was looking forward to because I swear that Horde hasn't been available on Gridlock before.
I don't
this
know.
might actually be why now, looking at it. Not made for it. Anyways, it was fun in as much that as Horde is. It's as fun as Horde's ever been. Like it's Horde mode. If
Yeah.
you liked Horde mode before, it's that again. Here you go. The matchmaking was cool at first. There are people out there to play with, and we matchmade on casual, so it's not like I want to say 3 or whenever they finally put matchmaking into Horde, it forced you into medium difficulty all the time or something like that. I can't remember. So you can look for other people that don't want to play it on insane. That's good.
That is good.
My problems with it came when I realized, and I'm glad we got to this because I feel like last week we talked about before. I felt like we needed to do more with more people before I fully understood enough about the new Horde mode. You know, like because it's more class based than in the past, and it's got a leveling up system, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, so we got more people in there. We're all playing different classes. Our engineer seems to know what they're doing until they left. So, which I guess maybe that's another thing to note is that we were trying to strong arm 49 and 50 without an engineer even. But you get to the end. Actually, no, before we get to the end,
We get to the beginning.
tell me if you think the fortifications are doing anything. I
No,
guess.
they do not feel like at all. They
Right?
barely feel like they're slowing them down.
So Gears of War 3, that was a huge part of it and a fun part of it. And I don't remember, it was money based. Yeah, you got money for killing enemies, then you built your fortifications or whatever. I felt like it made a difference. Like that especially the building you did each round
Right.
was worth it and meaningful and slowed the enemies down, and you had enough to do that. And if you failed the level, you could get enough kills to build up enough money quickly enough that you could dive back into it within a couple rounds or two, right?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like anyway.
That's what it feels
especially
like.
in comparison to this.
Especially in comparison to this, because now there's like, I feel like you can't even build that much, and they don't do that much.
Well, and so the other thing that happens here is that as you build, so as you kill the bad guys, you get energy from them if you pick it up. You have to deposit the energy, which is it's communal. So everybody can buy and build things, but the engineer can do it faster, can do it for cheaper, what have you.
Something, yeah. He's probably got different bonuses.
Yeah,
too.
he does. Yeah, he's got different cards and everything. So the issue becomes you have a bunch of people either buying weapons or buying other stuff. Then you start building. Then as you build and buy more stuff, the fabricator levels up. As it levels up, the items become more expensive. So the fortifications, all of that stuff becomes more expensive.
But supposedly leveled up and more valuable
Except
or damaging.
what I feel like is happening is as those are like they don't scale properly with the waves. So I understand that like a level 1 should be like walked right through by a wave 40 in theory character, right? Because
Sure.
it shouldn't just be more. They're a little harder. They're 2.5 times stronger, all that stuff.
Yeah, they still get their buffs every 10 levels.
But we should be scaling in some meaningful way with them. And it doesn't feel like it. It feels like at level 4,
all.
we had level 4 fabricator. So the highest level fabricator you could have. We had an entire, we had rows of blockades and turrets. Those things go down in like a second.
In one boss wave. As soon as the boss gets to you, it's gone.
It's gone. Which, of course, that makes some sense. But even prior to that, if you are not, you can't keep fixing and repairing that stuff, because that also drains money. You can't kill guys fast enough to repair those and have money to upgrade your weapons for boss waves. So even if they were useful in a boss wave, you still can't do anything with it. You get handcuffed.
If you die late in that game, there is very little return on the grind from then on out. Like I said, you can't just, fail a couple more waves, but you're getting money from the guys, and then you can have a good go at a wave. Like we had to fail and killing I want to say half of the enemies. We got that red bar down by half.
Yeah.
And we had to do that maybe 10 or more waves before we would have enough money to have a legitimate go at the boss, which is still garbage because, like we said, fortifications are nothing. Don't build fortifications to go with the boss battles at all. It's not. The boss will come at you. He will run over your fortifications and you're dead.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess some of the maps have points where you can hide from some of the bosses, but number one, it doesn't work with all the bosses, of course. But on that same token, the places that they give you to hide, they're not really viable to build fortifications to anyways.
No.
Because you get at that point you just get hemmed in and you can't fix them because you get stuck going on the outside to look at them. So you've got a bunch of guys coming in, they're throwing grenades over. You can't sit in a small area at all. You have to be mobile.
It's bad.
And
it's really bad.
It's
just there's nothing.
It's like the best version of Horde, but the worst version of Horde. And it's kind of shocking to me. It's a little, maybe not shocking. It's just a bummer.
It's a bummer. 5 hours in, when on the last thing you're just SOL.
Oh,
you died, so you're out of money. There's no return on the grind.
Here's the other thing that sucks about this is because they've tied levels to your classes. Your friggin' classes have cards that give you buffs. It's becoming clearer and clearer to me that you need to have everybody with as many of those cards and buffs as possible, and you have to coordinate those too.
Which I actually love.
That's
I love that
fine.
system.
I hate the grind that it's taking to level it up. It is obscene.
It is
slow.
Yeah, it's too slow. It's garbage because we are. How many times have we done 1 through 50 now? 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's not a small time investment. That's 5 to 6 hours a pop.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the amount of time we're putting in to get to 50 too. It's not just we're going 1 through 50 and it's that. It's we're putting a ton of freaking work into this and it's just not bearing any fruit.
Barely anything. I barely hit 3 on the one class. Because you can do this for each class. The one class that I've been mainlining, Soldier, I barely hit 3, which opens up my second card slot.
And I still haven't hit 3 on anything because that last game, I ended up playing a different character. So, wasted all that time.
They need to start doing double XP events. Okay, so this is also where I feel like we're getting screwed by microtransactions all over again. Because the one thing you can buy are basically these kind of bonus cards, right? You're buying stuff that gives you packs. The packs, you're breaking down cards, do stuff. It's like Halo 5's in a way. They've found a mode with which to wring more money out of you. And that's normally fine if you've provided or at least made pretended to make an overture towards the people who aren't going to give you $100 more to play your game.
Right.
Which it doesn't seem like they've done, really. Like, if you want normal Horde mode, this is why when I tweeted about it that I was like, Horde mode for Gears 4 is bad after the normal gunplay. It is Horde and it is Gears of War, and if that's fun, that's fun. But they apparently, by the way they've set up this microtransaction stuff, do not care if you want more out of the game.
Right. I agree.
They want the hundreds of hours from you or money.
And I agree. And
screw you
like
on both accounts, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't make me have to play the hundreds of hours, you're probably going to get me to play the hundreds of hours. Like, because I want to do it, because it's fun. But you're making it not fun. Like, it is, that mode should be a blast. I love those first few levels when we're playing and we're having fun. And then once we start getting that grind up in the later levels, at 45, 46, 47, and then realizing we're not getting any XP out of it, it becomes infuriating.
Yeah, I mean, and fatigue is setting in at that point, sure. But
which is why it's infuriating at that point. Like, I'm not having fun and I'm not gaining anything out of it.
Yeah, it's you get screwed on all freaking ends. Like, there's no bots. Like, they don't backfill the match with bots when people quit. They don't even match make again. Like, people can't join your game in progress, apparently, which I don't know what's the problem with that.
I don't know.
They're not getting like a huge, like, they're not joining right before the game's over and getting a huge XP bonus, right?
I do really,
you don't get that for playing all the levels. So what's the problem with rematch making somebody into the match at that point?
I don't know, but I like how when you first asked what's the problem, you said it in a really accusatory tone, like right at me. And I was like, dude, I am sorry. I will talk to the people at the coalition for you.
You're going to get all of this from me. Sorry.
I know. I agree with you, man.
The only thing I can think of is that this is the stuff they do to wring the money out of the people who will pay it for the first however many months of the game's existence.
And then they're going to fix it via patch.
And
here,
then
everything's
they're going to
easy.
fix it. So yeah, they'll bring it back because they're losing players, or they've already wrung out the money that they can from the people who can't wait or have it to burn or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's freaking sad because this is... I hate the direction this is good, because there's still a $50 season pass too.
Yeah, which I absolutely am just, you know what? No.
I mean, I get, like, in a way, this is where the online pass went, right? Remember the online pass where they were like, they wanted some way to still monetize people who were buying used games and then, using their bandwidth by playing multiplayer games. So they were like, the online pass, it comes with new copies of the game, or you can buy it for a certain amount of money and then you can play online, right?
So dumb.
It was dumb, but it's also gone.
Right.
So as far as I can tell, all these new monetizations, like these microtransaction things that are leaking into our AAA games now, Halo 5, Gears of War 4, it's a little bit of that, right? They're still trying to monetize because that's who gets hit, right? The people playing online. You want to keep playing online? We're not going to charge you an entrance fee, but if you want to do anything meaningful,
yeah, if you want to hang, then pay to play.
So I mean, I get that, but the fact that there's still a $50. This is still a $60 game, $100 if you buy the whatever edition. There's still a $50 season pass. Like it sucks for people like us who are just normal.
Right? Games are becoming so much harder. They're, like, the barrier to entry to have fun in a multiplayer environment is becoming harder and harder because they're changing how it's done. And when it's like this is where the entire concept of free to play to win, bash heads. Free to play game, great. But if you're going to put in stuff that allows me to have an advantage in any way, your game sucks. Period.
Yeah.
And it blows that there are people, there are companies that are willing to do that. And, with Horde, I guess maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world. Yeah, you pay to beat Horde. Okay, that sucks. I shouldn't have to do that, but whatever. It's that the PvP stuff is where it really gets me.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, if I was cared about that at all, I'd probably be double it as pissed.
Of course. And it's bull. It's for a co-op situation. Like, I hate it.
It's true. In a way that makes it worse. Yeah.
It
makes it worse because I feel like I didn't get what I paid for up until now. Like, because Pokemon Go we've talked about, and I want to say there was some other game, whatever, I can't think about it. But there's 1 through 20 on that game is fun for anybody.
Yeah.
Once you get kind of past that, I've noticed that, you don't get as much from leveling up. It's kind of obvious that you've had your fun. This is for paying players to get more out of the game from this point on. I get that.
That's what it feels like.
Well, but it feels like that if that happened like 5 levels into Pokemon Go, which happens almost immediately, or sooner,
Yeah.
It's like I get into Horde. We've put in so many hours already. We've gone to 1 through 50 3 times at least, and then some change. And I'm level 3 on one class.
Right.
And the fortifications seem useless anyways. Those freaking cards, the slots that I opened to put the buff cards in there feel useless. I don't feel like I feel those at all.
Yeah.
I could put more money in and build up some cards and get a legendary card, and then it'd probably be a lot easier to get through those waves.
Maybe. Or maybe you'll finally feel like your card is doing something at least. But I don't know, man.
$60 already.
It's rough. It's rough because it's got all the ingredients to be an excellent game mode.
I love that system. Like that, yeah. the putting the buffs in, like that's all cool. I can't get to any of it.
Yeah, I think they garbled the approach, or they garbled the landing.
I hope they do fix it. Where you've been saying that they've been saying that they're working on it or something.
I was just looking at what was going on with if there was anything online, and there was something that last week, so the Friday when we did it the first time, I think they said that they changed the XP, and so you should gain more now, but we certainly didn't see it this weekend.
No. Anyways, and I mean this leads into kind of just other stuff that happened this week. I think we've probably talked about that enough, but it looks like they're doing similar stuff to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yep.
So, I mean,
the pay to win stuff,
I'm sure it's a hard thing to do. It's probably a really hard balance to strike.
I don't think it's a hard balance to strike. It's simple, man. If you're buying items, if you're selling items that give a player an advantage over another player, your system is bad. That's that. You give them an XP boost on some levels. If the XP is for skins and whatnot, that's great. If you're going to give out skins, fine, fantastic. But if you're going to give out a full level to a gun that opens up another clip or something, I don't know. Like, it starts getting to a point where that's not fun. I want my matchmaking to work in the sense that if I'm a level 4, I shouldn't be playing a level 60 who's got everything unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a gray area, the whole player advantage thing, because you're right, that's something nobody wants. That's also something the developers don't want. I mean, it's typically speaking, they would have an investment in making their playing field as equal as possible. There's player advantage, by buying stuff. That also gets murky because people are very passionate about that. There are perceived indifferences that are very easily inflated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the simple way to resolve that, if it doesn't just change what it looks like, don't sell it. Done.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's true.
You can't. I'm sorry. There's just no other argument in my mind to validate any of that stuff.
Well, the money people want to sell stuff that sells, and stuff like this will sell. Sometimes even because there is a perceived advantage. Sometimes that's the freaking thing they're selling.
Absolutely true. And I'm of course I'm talking from the consumer perspective, from the business perspective. If I could monetize all of it, I would.
Right.
You want to play multiplayer?
And they are
monetized. You want to have a female avatar? Monetized. You want to have an alien avatar? Monetized. You want to have a male monetized.
Just picture the one dude in the focus testing room that's just like anytime somebody shows a little bit of interest in something, he walks up with his clipboard, is like, you like that? Well, what if it was 10 super credits? Would you still like it?
I'd love
if
it.
you got credits, but anyways, and who knows how this is going to come out actually in Call of Duty?
Probably exactly the way we're talking
from the
about.
beta, I guess, right? The multiplayer beta.
Yeah,
and it's on NeoGAF, which is fine. So there's a problem with that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's NeoGAF. Everybody loves NeoGAF.
I love it.
Guys, I need to give away another Battleborn code. I need to give it away. If I don't, doorknobs. It's another PAX West 2016 mega code wherein you will get 10,000 credits, 18 loot packs, 5 skins, 1 for Atticus, Isaac, Wrath, Alani, and Ernest. And it's for PlayStation 4, PC, Xbox shift code. Apparently it will work once on each of those platforms. Who knows? We've never received any feedback. The code is S55B3TS93KH3CTH6KXBBWXSKC. Enjoy it. And now back to the podcast.
Okay. So one of the things that video game reviewers, which we are not, but outlets such as Kotaku, Polygon, I guess to a lesser extent because they generally hate video games, so we don't. but like Kotaku, Mashable, anybody who reviews games, EGM, still around, Nintendo
IGN.
Power, IGN probably
Actually not around anymore, but that's
no,
cool.
still around. They expect, they work with the game companies to get pre-release versions so that they can review them. That's how they get their release date reviews. Yeah, Bethesda's not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, you know what? Doom came out pretty good, so everything else is also going to be that good. Don't worry. Basically, Bethesda says we're going to give you guys the game like one day ahead of time, but never more.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is from a release on their blog by Gary Steinman, and it's a real short thing. So you got to imagine, when they mention Doom here, it's kind of pointed, but basically they're like, people thought Doom was going to be bad because we didn't give out advanced copies of the game. And it wasn't bad. Look how awesome it was, even though the multiplayer is kind of bad. So the way they put this,
it's
they
good.
talk about Skyrim. I mean, there's one part in here where he says, we also understand that some of you want to read reviews before you make your decision. And if that's the case, we encourage you to wait for your favorite reviewers to share their thoughts. It's kind of a crazy thing for them to say. That's a good concession.
No, it's a great thing for them to say. It is. It's absolutely the right thing for them to say.
And people should definitely do that.
And I would love. That was probably loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have to go?
I might. It's bathroom time. I would love for Bethesda to really be an actual game company that leads the charge of stop pre-ordering things. No company would ever do that in their right minds. That's the pie in the sky. But by doing this, that is kind of what they're saying a little bit. Don't freaking pre-order it if you have any concerns about it, which you should have about everything you're pre-ordering.
Which is why I say that's a good ad.
It is.
This is where this gets bad.
And then it goes downhill fast.
Oh, well, immediately, it's hilarious because immediately after that, I mean, this is literally how it reads. And if that's the case, we encourage you to wait for your favorite reviewers to share their thoughts. Skyrim Special Edition releases globally on October 28th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Dishonored 2 releases globally directly afterwards. Anyways, the part where this gets bad is how much any of it is invested or even just trying to make money off of an uninformed consumer base, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the part that sucks. Period. You know, because some people aren't going to wait. You know, some people.
But I mean, okay. The argument I make there though is what is the difference between and I mean this like from a mathematical thing. Like
Okay.
how many of those people that you're talking about would have pre-ordered it anyways?
Right. Yeah. There's nothing's hard and fast here. It's people are going to pre-order that are going to pre-order, and to a large extent, you know, me and you pre-order because there are some games out there that we know what we're getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the most part, especially me, who's as careful as I am about the games I buy and the money I spend because I have none of it.
Yeah, well,
right.
We do what we can do.
It just sucks if any of this is aimed at, you know, like, well, if our bad games don't go out. I mean, this goes for bad and good games across the board as they come from Bethesda. So whatever, but this is a calculated somewhere along the line decision.
Sure.
That their bad games are going to sell more and I would say in large amount will sell more than the good games will sell less if we don't let people play them before they come out.
And you know, on some level, you could read into this. This is Bethesda taking advantage of a little bit of their position, because while Fallout 4, for example, while Fallout 4 was not as well received as Fallout 3, or certainly not any of the previous Fallouts from that, it's still a pretty great game. A lot of people really, really loved it. And
where are we going?
You're building. You have a built-in trust, and you're taking advantage of it by saying, "Don't worry about it. Look at everything we've done in the past. You loved it. It's gonna be fine."
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning, which you pointed at the Doom thing. Doom came out of nowhere, was super, super good, and now they are going to just, here you go. It worked for Doom. It works for everything else. We're Bethesda. Trust us. Todd Howard. You know,
the last thing I'll say is where this gets immediately horrible, because there's this it was a little bit of a messy transition, if they're calling it that, is if the so-called YouTubers, whatever, you know, the non-professional, no, that's not maybe fair either. The more enthusiast,
sure,
people out there still get the games early, which did happen with Skyrim Special Edition, apparently. Like I said, I don't know, it probably happened before this blog post or whatever, so it gets murky. But if they continue to do something like that, where it's basically just professional reviewers that aren't getting the game early, they're giving it to the people that are very, like, provenly going to give them a positive review when they get the game for free, because that's crazy, or they're super fans already,
right?
You know, and that's not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's free advertisement.
Love the game, yeah. No, that's totally like, fine.
Yeah,
but as a company to cater to those people at the expense of others, that's where it would get real scummy.
And all that would do to me, all that would do for me is, I mean, and this is calculated too, because it's say we're gonna and we'll use PewDiePie because he's the easiest, like, biggest name I can think of.
Use him.
We're gonna give PewDiePie Skyrim Special Edition, and we're gonna let him play it, and people who like PewDiePie but maybe never knew about it, people that knew about it but wanted to see what the differences were. Well, this is great. Free advertisement, essentially. We gave it to PewDiePie. He's going to play it. He got a free copy of the game. What have you. Yeah, that does kind of suck when you think about it from the reviewer perspective, the professional, quote unquote. Like, yeah, that blows. It sucks for their job. But from a consumer perspective, all it does for me is says, okay, I know those guys are probably going to like it. So I'll watch the video to see if the game looks good and it looks like what I want it to be.
Oh, yeah, no.
But again, I'm also more informed than maybe some of the people you're concerned about. So
we're not, I mean, that figures into their decision because they know people like us, like this isn't going to matter either way.
Right.
but
because we're gonna pre-order it and
yeah. Anyways,
moving on.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Sorry, I front loaded the news section here with some bummers before we get a little bit happier.
Well, here's a big bummer that the SAG-AFTRA folks, who are the voice actors, are on strike.
Who is SAG-AFTRA?
They're after some money.
Yes, this more by way of an update, but with as far as the SAG-AFTRA whole voice actors strike going on thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Tara Strong.
Sarah Strong, David Hayter, Jennifer Hale, etc., etc.
Jennifer Hale, that was a name. I was trying to think of that earlier.
That is a name.
I could not remember her name.
We talked a little bit last week about how these guys are kind of going at it. They want some money on the back end. They want some stunt pay. That's all fine. These are things that they get from other places where they work, and it is not bad for them to be asking for it from other places where they work. Also, this is what unions do, right?
It is what unions do.
This hopefully is what unions do.
That's why you
because
pay
they're
union.
getting a lot of money. Yes.
That's why you pay union dues.
Exactly. This is why union dues. Anyways, EA and Activision have fired back a little bit by means of a website. So
it's the most logical
kind
way
of
to attack somebody.
It's a real fancy forum argument, basically. So, right?
Basically, I get it.
What's going on in this thread? They basically just said that they're coming back and saying we have tried to actually give them some of what they want, or at least in a way. You know, they're not whole hog, of course. This is always a negotiation.
Always, every time.
Always. That's literally what this is. And they're just saying, they're just publicly releasing what they've come back with, and trying to say that SAG-AFTRA has, pulled out or whatever.
Yeah.
They're telling their side of the story a little bit here.
Yes, but
which is fine and
thankfully,
interesting.
Nobody believes them because they're the corporation.
Yes, Activision and EA.
Like if you're gonna give me the two companies that I least want to trust
together,
the only one you could make it, the only way you make that worse is by saying Ubisoft is in on it.
No, Ubisoft's like just
they'd break it.
They're like whatever, we'll literally. I tell you what, we can keep our company. You can have whatever.
You can be whatever character you want.
Do you want to voice act in the next Assassin's Creed?
You're Apollo Creed.
You get all your demands. We love Ubisoft.com.
I want Assassin's Creed to star Apollo Creed. Assassin's Creed starring Carl Weathers.
I don't think we're that far off, actually, honestly. I'm going to delay it one more year and be like, all right, it's back. And better than ever. Anyways, there's specifics out there if you want to go read them.
You don't.
It's funny in a way, because if I were giving anybody money on the back end of a game, it would be developers. Really?
You'd think.
Like that, because developers, are arguably less transient than voice actors. Like voice actors go from game to game. That's what they do.
And they do live on the street.
Free agents in a lot of ways, but there's stories about all these developers where they ship a game, even an awesome game, and they're out of work because Activision or EA disbands the developer after that because they're they did it. Good job. So yeah, money on the back end for those guys almost makes more sense to me. But
yeah, except Dan Smith doesn't sell games, whereas Mark Hamill does.
Yeah, which is the other argument to be had, like how much. Now that talent is actually, that's a bad way to put it. Talent in the show business sense, right? If you're on set, the talent's the people in front of the camera. Where they're, figuring more and more into video games where they haven't before, kind of.
I would imagine so, but.
They're figuring in a more public way, I guess.
Well, yeah.
People do know the names, whereas before.
It's becoming, because of things like PAX and all that stuff, the names of the actors are becoming a little more ubiquitous. You're seeing people like Nolan North moving into more Hollywood stuff and right. Getting, so
right.
There's crossover. People will know.
And then another bummer. Let's just keep going down.
Just crash.
Evolve is done.
Evolve is done in a very sad letter. Phil and Chris, the co-creators of Evolve and founders of Turtle Rock, said that as much as they enjoyed making the game and they had a lot of fun playing it, it just wasn't meant to be. 2K was not going to keep funding them, and the time to end was now.
It is, and it's a good post. Like,
it is
to go check it out.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I'll still defend that game. Like, I really liked that game, and I thought it was a beautifully balanced game with interesting characters and an amazing world and a fun mechanic. And I didn't even play it online all that much.
That might have been your issue.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
That might have been.
But yeah, they've very hat in hand here, kind of say farewell. They don't give a whole lot of numbers because we know they went free to play and they saw a huge rise in players, but apparently it wasn't enough to.
Well, it spiked, and then just a few like the numbers like last week and the week before had dwindled. They dropped pretty dramatically again.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. That's crazy, man. It's weird. Like it is still weird to me that they.
Well, I mean, if you
find a
if you think about that though, the timing on it makes perfect sense. Battlefield 1 dropped. Gears
True.
came out. Like, you had a whole bunch of huge games come out all at once.
I think timing is probably the main thing, actually. Yeah.
And Evolve unfortunately was dwindling. You know, like when they went phase 2, it was kind of at a good time to start because there wasn't a ton out. But for them to keep riding that, they should have done it months earlier.
I guess I've just expect a game as well made as this to find, a crowd that's going to stick with it kind of no matter what. Like, that's their go-to still.
And there
but I think you're right. I think timing is probably the killer here.
Yeah, and then there definitely still is a group. Like, there are quite a few like people that play. I mean, probably less than a couple thousand. I'd be guessing in the hundreds, but yeah, not enough to warrant.
Make fun. Probably the people who they would give concessions to as the founders or whatever. It would just be dirty to be like, well, we only got 1,000 people, but let's start charging them money, I guess. Like,
right.
Obviously, good. Whereas other games might not back out at that point. They have seen the writing on the wall, I guess. So
double down.
Anyways, it's a bummer. We met those dudes at PAX. They were real cool. They
were
believed
real cool.
in what they did, and they're gonna do something else.
They are. They're on their way. They've got things in the pipeline, they say.
It's kind of. I mean, it's. That game, if anything, I can fault it for was maybe trying too hard because they had that whole like e-games push, and they were really pushing for that thing to become a platform.
Yeah,
especially in the esports world, even if not. And that's like I feel like you don't necessarily create that almost ever.
No,
that's got to rise up. That's got to be like natural, something you nurture rather than.
Rather than build for, right?
Yeah. Anyways, good game. Good job.
Thanks.
You did it.
I tried.
2 things on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay.
2 of your favorite things.
I'm really excited. Tell me about one of them.
It will have a touch screen. People were wondering about that. Yep. I know how you like to touch things.
I like screens.
And we will find out more about it January 13th. Nintendo's going to do a big old thing at the Tokyo International Exhibition Center.
Okay. Now, I know this isn't going to happen, but how insane would it be for Nintendo to come out January 13th and say, this is the Nintendo Switch. It'll be available January 31st.
That would be insane.
Go pre-order it right now.
You're right.
Like, that would be the most nuts thing I could think of them doing. Instead,
they'll say go pre-order right now.
Instead, it'll probably be, here's the Nintendo Switch. It plays Nintendo games. Kind of. No backwards compatibility. So it'll play new Nintendo. Look, guys, it's a Nintendo. Just buy it.
So have you turned any corners on the Switch? You want to amend anything you've said so far?
No. I need to see a lot more about it, but right now it still just does not do anything for me.
Right. At one point, I never asked you about this. At one point, you said you thought it might be a day one for me.
Probably not legitimately.
Okay.
I don't feel like that I would ever say that and be serious.
It was a tweet somewhere.
It was definitely not serious.
Okay, all right. See, that's my problem. Is seriousness. Everybody knows.
Sirius XM satellite radio.
Last but not least, here this is where it goes up. I mean, I guess it technically went up a little bit with the Nintendo Switch, but this is happy news maybe, or I don't know. I guess we'll find out. No Man's Sky, the Twitter account was hacked, and somebody posted just No Man's Sky was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
And then somebody reached out to Hello Games, and they got replies from apparently the same dude. Like there was a 2-paragraph email about how it was a mistake.
It's pretty great. Pretty great. This is especially great since the game launched in August. Sean Murray and Hello Games, like they responded to some stuff for like maybe 2 weeks, then nothing. They have been radio silent since the game launched.
Right.
He responded to this supposedly and said that it was a hack and that it was a disgruntled employee. Well, I can understand. What is a gruntled employee is my number one question.
You're looking at him.
Are you gruntled?
Yeah, but there's like some confusion over that. Like, was it hacked or what? The latest update to this Polygon article, anyways, is that Forbes is reporting that somebody from Hello Games did say it's a disgruntled employee.
Yeah. And as far as I remember reading, it was Sean Murray that said it. But the interesting thing about this was that the way it was done was the post was made on LinkedIn. LinkedIn to Twitter didn't have 2-factor authentication set up. So just clicked right over, posted right away.
Okay. So it's not, if it is a disgruntled employee, it doesn't sound like a disgruntled employee that's disappointed in the game. Like it sounds like a disgruntled employee that might be upset with management or something. Like he signed all this stuff, Sean Murray, so he's right. Obviously.
And I mean, maybe it was Sean Murray. Who knows, man? Maybe it was. Maybe it's all a ruse, and he's just like, yeah, we were hacked. I feel so bad.
Yeah, there's a tweet of Sean Murray tweeted the Hello Games account asking if it was still hacked. It's all there. It's funny. It's funny because it's not true, right? Like we can all laugh about it now.
It's funny because it's time for the lightning round.
Lightning round. Matthew Amberg, it's your turn. Are you ready?
I've never been less ready, but I'm going to be.
Here they are. Matt has not seen these beforehand unless he's looked at them.
Which I didn't.
There weren't a whole bunch, but there were still some news items that we don't want to spend more than a couple seconds on.
Let's not.
So Delta Force is now owned by THQ Nordic.
Nobody owns Chuck Norris.
Kingdom Hearts.
Nope.
Armored Fist now also owned by THQ Nordic.
I just said nobody owns Chuck Norris.
That's all we had.
Great.
Slow week.
November 4th, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered comes out. Also, it comes with that Infinite Warfare pack in. It sounds like that's something you could just ditch. And then also...
Let's hope so. It actually doesn't sound like that's something you can ditch.
Oh,
it sounds like you might need that.
You kind of do require it, I guess, but you don't have to play it, hopefully. And also on November 4th, Mario Party Star Rush.
Yeah.
This week, not
surprisingly, everybody got out of the way of Call of Duty except for
Nintendo.
No other games coming out this week because don't even try. But Nintendo
doesn't care about anything.
Put out their Call of Duty.
Mario
Party Star Rush.
This week I will probably be I'll probably be playing some more Overwatch. Definitely finishing up the Titanfall campaign because I think I'm about halfway through it.
Okay. I've heard it's like standard length. It's not a 20-hour event there.
No, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. Whatever. So I'll probably do that more the multiplayer there. Is there anything else that's coming that I'm going to play? I don't know. I think that's probably probably about it.
Let's not overpromise here.
And I think this Thursday for the stream we'll probably be playing Gears, so we'll get
back to the Gears of War campaign.
We'll get some more campaign in, which that I am enjoying greatly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it also would be more enjoyable with more people, but
Pedal doesn't like to play video games.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't own an Xbox
or a PC.
PC.
He's barely he thinks he might be an X-Man. He's not.
The number one thing I want to play is that Titanfall 2 campaign. So with any luck, we can talk some more about that next week.
All right.
Other than that, Overwatch and Gears. Because I'm not going to overpromise either. Because I played video games like twice this week.
That's good. We don't overpromise, but we can underdeliver. Go check out our website, 0HITPOINTS.com. We're over on Instagrams. We got Twitter account. Look at that. Monday video. That's probably up. We'll have a hit play. That might be up too. No, that one is up, actually. The hit play is up.
Yeah,
Monday
hit
video
play went up. Monday video didn't happen. Yeah,
that's fine. And we'll see you.
Give me like another week.
We'll get to this past Monday in a few weeks. Don't worry.
I'll just tell you what, 2 Monday videos next week.
Both of equally short time, 5 seconds each.
No,
You're like Monday video 1,
about.
Monday video 2.
No idea what you're talking about. But we will stream tomorrow at 7. You're right.
So. We will. The end.